Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rebecca. This is Beck Stitches Everything. Happy New Year. Happy 2026, everyone. I hope everyone's year's off to a really good start. I am very, very glad to have 2025 behind me. I wasn't sure I was going to make it out of that year, quite frankly. So we're going to put that in the past, and we're starting fresh in a new year here. Happy whip parade season. I've enjoyed watching everyone's whip parades. I'm still like catching up. There's so many good ones out there right now. So thank you for stopping by. Today, this is going to be a regular Flosstube update. I posted my kind of end of 2025 whip parade a little more like mid-December-ish, and so it's been a few weeks since that video posted, and I've had a lot of new subscribers since I posted that video. That's what parades tend to bring in, lots of new viewers. So I thought before I start today, I would just do like a little short kind of like reintroduction of who I am. As I said, my name is Rebecca. I live in the Seattle, Washington area with my husband and our dog Emma. We are on the Kitsap Peninsula, if you're familiar with this area at all. So we're kind of across Puget Sound from downtown Seattle. I have 3 grown kids. They're in their 20s, off doing their young adult independent thing. My husband has 3 kids, also in their 20s, doing their independent young adult thing. So we're empty nesters. In my former life, I was a CPA. I did taxes for 10 years. I left that field at the very end of 2024. I was just over tax season hours, basically, and really miserable. So my plan was to take a couple months and figure out what I wanted to do kind of in this next phase of life, pick a new career path, you know, just whatever, just take a little break. Did that, then I got really ill in March of last year and had an emergency, very unexpected surgery and a recovery that was much longer than I wanted. So yeah, the first half, and then the year just kind of went off the rails from there. So 2025 was like a throwaway year for me. So basically all I got done in 2025 was I expanded my dahlia garden. That's another hobby of mine, is I grow flowers. I pretty much mastered my sourdough bread baking, and I got a lot of cross stitch done. So there, that's a little bit about me. I'm glad to have you here. Thank you for stopping by. I hope if you like what you'll see that you'll subscribe and stick around if you haven't already. And so let's just get into it. I've got some notes over here. I'm going to try to do minimal editing of this. Got my water, so I'm standing today because I'm feeling a little like, had too much caffeine. So hopefully this won't be too disorganized. I've got some notes that I'm going to check on. So let's start with Christmas stitching. Hopefully we're not all just like completely burned out on the holiday season at this point. I have 3 things that I finished that are Christmas stitches. This was a start and a finish. This is my very first Prairie Schooler Santa. And I don't know what I was doing when I was putting this on my Q-snap because this margin is ridiculous. I would love to do, well, all of them if I can get my hands on all the charts. But this is my very first one, and this is, let me grab the book that I have. I have this booklet. It's Santa's Revisited 5. So there's 3 charts in this one. There's the 1999, the 2000, the 2015. And I'm pretty sure that this one's the 2015 Santa. So I want to stitch the other 2. I'm thinking about, we actually had a tree this year for the first time in quite a few years. We've been doing a lot of traveling the previous years, so we hadn't even bothered to put up Christmas decorations or get a tree. And so something about having that up this year really kind of put me in a much more festive mood, and I'm still and we've taken it all down at this point and Christmas is put away, but I'm still kind of feeling motivated to work on Christmas stuff. So I might try to do like a Christmas small every month. We'll see. I'm not much of a planner when it comes to stitching, but I am going to try to stick to a little bit more of a schedule this year and just see how that goes. So yeah, that's something that's on my like kind of stitching resolutions or for this year, is to try to get like maybe 1 Christmas small done a month if I can. But my plan is to do a bunch of these, and I want to do pillow finishes, so this margin is extra ridiculous. I don't know what happened, so I'm going to try to be a little more conscious of where I'm placing these to get the most out of this fabric. This is 40 count light mocha by Zweigart. So it's not a vintage, it's not like there's no modeling, it's just a solid color. And I used all the called for flosses on this. I kind of questioned that red when I pull the flosses. I think it's they're all DMC, and I think it's maybe 221. I don't want to drag this out. So on the cover of these, the red looks, you know, kind of moderately bright to me. And when I see pictures of other people's finishes online, theirs all look moderately bright like this. And when I first looked at that 221 floss, it's almost like a burgundy maroon kind of color, and it just seemed off to me. So I actually reached out to a couple of people on Instagram who have done a lot of these to see if they used called for, and the answer was yes. So, and I wanted to make sure that I picked, because I want to do a lot of these, I wanted to make sure that I picked the red that I wanted to use from the beginning so they'll all match each other. So I kind of hemmed and hawed about the red, and then in the end I just decided to trust the process, and I'm happy with the way this looks. So once I get through this booklet, my plan is to probably pass it on. So if anyone has Prairie Schooler Santa charts that they are done with and don't want to hang on to, if anyone is interested in like a trade down the road, let me know. I would love to swap with someone. Okay, so that's project number 1. Where am I putting these? Let's go over here. Up next is also a start and finish. This is a little kit that I've had hanging around for a while. We had company in town a couple times during December, and so I kind of put all I didn't want my Lowry sand and all that stuff just out like it is in my day-to-day life. So I pulled this from my box of kits that I had. Figured this is something that I could just like work on the couch and not take up a ton of space. This is one of the Satsuma Street 12 Days of Christmas ornaments, and there's the little chart. I bought this as a kit from the Satsuma Street Etsy shop, Jody's Etsy shop, a while ago. I'm not sure if she still, I'm gonna back up. I'm not sure if she still does kits or not, but I think you can still get most of the charts from her, I hope, because this is the only one that I have, and I definitely want to do some more at some point. This is on perforated paper, 14 count, and it's 2/1. I just used all the kit flosses, which are just DMC, and then it came with some beads and little sequins. So I need to, at some point, fully finish this into an ornament. I've got quite a box going of things that needed to be either fully finished or framed, so I need to deal with that at some point soon. There's finished number 2. It's super cute. I love the colors. That red and aqua blue are like I just love that color combination in general, and especially for Christmas. That's one of my favorite color combos. Okay, and then my final Christmas finish. I had actually started this a while ago, and I'm not sure I ever talked about it. It's a small. This is called, what's it called? Dash All Away. It's by the Calico Confectionary on Etsy. It's a chart. I'll put a picture up on the screen of the cover photo of the chart. There is another little companion piece that I may stitch. That might be a good, like, small to do 1 month this year. But I've seen a couple people do this one. I think that Audrey, a Stitch Bead, has finished this one. I think Jordan, the Tattooed Stitcher, has finished this one. This is on a 46 count linen by XJU Designs. This is Old Sheep is the color. It's actually the extra linen from another whip I'm going to talk about in a couple of minutes here. And then it's the Vera Suave 100.3 silk in color number 664. I did make one change to the chart. I think Audrey pointed it out. I think on the chart it's it says Donder instead of Donner. So I recharted it and made it Donner. But I will be finishing this one into a pillow also. I don't think I have any fabric in my stash that's going to work for backing fabric. I'll do a little digging, but this one might be on hold until I choose a backing fabric and a trim for it. Yeah, it's so cute. Okay, let's do starts next. A couple of these I didn't even bother to take off of their Q center frame because I'm like actively working on them. But first let's do this one first. This is my start on Ann Thomas. Is there a year? I'll put a picture of the cover photo of the chart up on the screen. This was a completely unplanned, completely irresponsible new start. This chart is huge, but it's beautiful. So Fanny of Cross Stitch Couture on Instagram had put on her story that she was planning to start this one as like a new year, new start. And I think it's her first Hands Across the Sea chart that she has stitched. And I saw her story and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I have that chart. I'm pretty sure I bought that chart. And I looked in my email and I had purchased it. I did the PDF from Hands Across the Sea. And then I went all through all my digital files on my computer and iPad and phone, and I could not find it anywhere. And I didn't realize that your downloads expire from hats when you buy their PDFs. So mine had expired. I think when I looked for my chart, it was like December 29th. My download link had expired December 28th, of course. So I just emailed Hands Across the Sea, and Nicola actually got right back to me. It was pretty late over in the UK too, so she got back to me right away and extended my download link, so I was able to get the chart and get a start on this on January 1st. This is on a 40 count linen from XJU Designs. It is called Brick Powder, and I'm trying to move to get kind of an accurate color. Maybe about there is pretty true to real life. It's kind of, it's definitely pinkish. It's kind of like a ballet shoe kind of pink is what it reminds me of. And I am stitching it 1/2 with all the DMCs as charted. So this one got a couple days work, and then I made myself take it off the Q-snap and move on to some other stuff. I'm not sure when this one will come back out. I've got some plans kind of lined up for myself for January that I think is probably going to take up the rest of this month. So this one might not get much more work anytime soon, but we'll see. We'll just kind of see. I'll see when Fanny pulls hers back out too. Okay, that's that one, and then the next. Is that just all starts? Okay, then the next 2 starts are on their hoops or Q-snaps. So I started, and this one has a dangling thread and a needle too. I started this on New Year's Day as a blessing sampler, and this is the very first time I've ever done a blessing sampler. I wasn't really very familiar with them until recently, so I don't think there's any one right way to do it, but the idea is that you pick a chart, you start it New Year's Day, and you finish it in the month of January, and it's supposed to bring you good luck for the year. So most people pick smaller projects. Some people do big ones. This one's pretty small. This is a chart that it was out of a Just Cross Stitch magazine. It's the June 2023 issue, and this is called Peacock Manor by Pansy Patch Quilts. I am stitching this with several people. So Amy of the Thread Gremlins is working on it. Megan, the Seattle Stitcher, is almost done with hers. I just saw this morning. She's almost finished. Leslie of A Nurse and Her Needle is working on it. Fanny of Cross Stitch Couture is working on it. And Sam of Slow Snail Stitching is working on it too. And Sam did a really cool, like dark, it's like a goth conversion with like a black house and that slimy green that she loves. Hers is so cool. I love her colors that she picked. So I am stitching this on a 36 count piece of linen, also by XJU Designs. I think this is called Drapple Brown, and I had it in stash. As I mentioned in one of my recent videos, I am doing a no cross stitch buy until November of this year. So I pulled completely from stash. It is charted in All Weeks Dye Works colors, and I had, I think I have the flosses too. I don't usually show flosses, but I did bring mine up today. Okay, so I had maybe 4 of them in stash. So, but I ended up just pulling from stash for the rest of the colors. But even the red, I think it calls for, cayenne, which I did have. I think I actually have a couple skeins of it, but I just wanted a brighter red. So I substituted the cayenne for Turkish red by Weeks, which is one of my favorite reds. And I substituted whiskey for Schneckly. And I think I do have a skein of that somewhere too, but whiskey was not in use in anything, so I just grabbed that. I can't remember what the minty green color is, but mine is a substitute. I used aqua. That's just the little kind of tops of the birds. It's only in a couple spots. I'm actually already done with that color in this one. And then charcoal is the roof as charted. Teal Frost is the darker blue. That was as charted. This is Oscar is the green in the border, and down here that's as charted. And then I had picked a lighter, a more pastel-y. I'll put a cover photo up too if I didn't already say that. I had picked a more pastel-y pink for this color because it's pretty light in the cover photo. I can't remember off the top of my head what it was charted in, but I didn't have it. And surprisingly, I don't have that many light variegated pinks in stash, and I did want something with some variegation, so you would see those tonal shifts. So I picked, I think it was Peach Fuzz by Weeks, and actually did quite a few flowers in that, and it was just really, really ghosting on my fabric. So then I pulled, I think it was maybe it was Cinnabar or Charlotte's Pink, and I did a couple flowers in that, and it was 2 kind of dusty rose. I didn't like it. The color value was off. And then I went, I have that Nightshade Bird kitted. I talked about it in my stash dive video, and it has this really cool salmon-y color. It's actually called sockeye, so that makes sense. If it'll focus. So I went with that, and I do like it, but there's also a little bit of a darker pink that's here, and then the center of this flower. And for that, it was also a substitution, and I had picked Cherry Tomato by Classic Colorworks, which is really pretty. This was the pink that I used in the dress of the Tomato Girl chart by, I'm blanking on her name right now, the Sub Rosa. So I like each of these colors individually, but you can see they're next to each other here. And I'm not getting tons of contrast. I don't know. I'm still not quite happy with it, but I'm not going to change it again. I'm just going to go with it. And this is what we're sticking with at this point, because I would like to get this done. Definitely by the end of the month. I'm hoping I can finish it maybe this weekend. We have a little bit of travel this month. We'll be in the car and on a plane a couple times, so I wanted to make sure I cannot do 40 count without magnification, so or 46, so I don't travel with those kinds of projects. So I wanted a 36 count project that I could take with me and see without needing special equipment. So my plan is to try to finish this probably in the car when we're driving. Put it down there. Okay, I think that's it. No, that's not it for new starts. Just kidding. This one's also on the hoop still. Did I bring the chart up here? I thought I did. Yeah. This was a random start the other night. I've had this chart and all the flosses for quite a while. I found it again during my stash dive video, and it's a chicken chart. I love a chicken chart. This is the focus. Les Poulets Pin Keep by Stacy Nash Designs. I'm using all of the flosses as called for. They're all Weeks Dye Works. The model was stitched on a 36 count needle bling linen called Ween Beans, which I didn't have. And I wanted to do it on 40 because on 36 count, these are always, I feel like all of her like pin keep pillows are so much bigger in real life than my brain thinks they are looking at a cover photo. So on a 36 count fabric, the finished size would be 8 inches by 7 inches. So on 40 count, what, 10% smaller than that? I can't do that math in my head. So I've just started the border, got it in my nerd tube. This is on 40 count Weeks Dye Works straw, and this is the old Weeks base. So it's got a much softer, looser feel. I still don't have any of their new fabric since they moved to a wide art base to compare. I mean, it's not my favorite thing to work on. It feels very delicate. But I will say, maybe I don't pull as tight on this because I'm afraid of moving the threads, because I am a pretty tight stitcher usually. I have a lot of rage. But I feel like my stitches look really good. Like I feel like better coverage on this than I do on a lot of 40 counts with one strand. So I like it for that. And this needle minder is amazing. This was a Christmas gift from Amy of the Thread Gremlins. So yeah, and I've got it in this nerd tube, which usually I say like I try to keep my stitching, you know, so it's contained completely inside the hoop, because these do have a tendency to like screw up your linen. Didn't take my own advice on this. This will be bigger than this, but I think it'll be fine because I think I'll be done with it pretty fast. And I'm planning to turn it into a pin keep pillow, just like the cover. And hopefully if there's any issues with the linen, I can kind of move those threads back into place when I'm ironing to get it finished. So another unplanned start there. Okay, yeah, that's all these starts. Now I just have whips. I think, yeah. I was working on this one this morning. Get up here, I'll just hold it on here. So this one probably doesn't have a whole lot of progress on it from when I showed it on my whip parade, because I just worked on it last night and a tiny bit this morning before I got ready to film. This is Jane Hopkins 1875 by Hands Across the Sea. I am stitching this 1/2 on 46 count linen by XJU Designs. The color is, I think it's autumn gold. And I'll put a cover photo up on the screen. Or actually, I have my chart up here. I'll just show you the chart. How about that? And I'm using the 100.3 Aversois silks on this one as they are charted. And I love it. Like I said before, I kind of wish that I'd just done the central floral bouquet and skipped the border, but I'm in too deep now, so I have to keep going. So last night I worked on the flowers. I've kind of abandoned the border for now. I'll come back to it later. That's a problem for later me, for future Rebecca. But yeah, that, I mean, it's beautiful, but that central, it's virtually full coverage, that whole central floral motif. So it's pretty slow going, but I'm having a little bit of problem, and it's a me issue, with the page breaks on this one and like keeping track of where I am. So that's been slowing me down a tiny bit, but it really is, I mean, as you can tell, it's not, there's like no confetti. It's really like big kind of pools of color. So when you start a thread, you can really, you know, get a lot of stitching in before you have to change colors. So that's very nice. That makes that part a lot more manageable. I've been working on this one. I know that Karenaki BH Stitches has it a whip because she messaged me about it last night on Instagram when I put on my story that I was working on it. Kim of Contented Needleworker Kim has it as a whip, and we're both kind of getting in touch with each other when we pull out certain projects. And then we just, you know, update each other on progress and kind of keep each other motivated. Camera stopped. So yeah, so Kim was working on hers last night. I know too. I have this one as a whip, and then I have Jane Hearth. It's the year 1868. I can't remember the year on that one. Also as a whip with a smaller start. They are both Jane charts, so I'm kind of doing like a January is what I'm calling it. I have other stuff that I'm working on too, but I think I do want to kind of rotate between the, or flip-flop between the two of them, and maybe put like a few days in on this one, then a few days in on Jane Hearth. Yeah, but they have their borders are almost identical to each other, so I'm gonna have to be strategic, I think, about when I do borders, because it's like stitching the same thing twice with that. So maybe I'll work on the border a little bit on Jane Hearth when I get it out in a couple days, and then focus on the flowers on this one. We'll see. So that's Jane Hopkins. Okay. Up next, I have another Hands Across the Sea. I didn't really realize that I was working on so much hat stuff this month. Or so far this month. So we're a week into January when I'm filming this. Okay, this is Louisa Coulimore by Hands Across the Sea. Sorry if my alphabet's crooked. Giving you like a vertigo. This is a Bristol sampler. This is 46 count XJU Designs linen. She's my favorite. This is that Old Sheep, the same fabric that I used on the little Dashaway All pillow, and it's also the same floss. So it's Ivara Soie 100.3 in color number 664, which I think is like their most popular. It's just a perfect bright red. Another thing that I'm going to try to do, and I've kept up with it so far, is I want to do one red thread a day for all of this year, if I can stick to it. We'll see if I do. I don't know if it'll all be on this project. I do have another red sampler. I have the chart and fabric for another one. It's one that Jackie of Comfort Stitching did, and the name is escaping me at the moment. I can't remember the name. I might put a picture up here if I remember to do so. That one I'm going to do on 56 count. I think I might still use the 664. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I have at least one more spool of it floating around here, maybe two, but I will probably run out at some point. That is one of the conditions of my no-buy, though, is if I need something to finish something I'm working on that I'd already started previously, that I can buy, just so I can, you know, keep working on it. So I'm going to need some more spools of 664 at some point, definitely. But I think I'll just keep going with this one thread a day. I don't really have that many red sampler charts. Something I need to add to my collection later on as well, because I love them. There's that Reflate a Swab one that's just, it's like living rent-free in my brain. So whenever I'm shopping again, that's probably going to be the first thing that I buy and start. I didn't do it this year, but I know some people start a red sampler on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, so that might be something I do in 2026 too. But yeah, not tons of progress since I showed this in my Whip Parade, but I did get some more of these letters in down here. Okay, now, not the hats, and this one I didn't iron either. Pull it out of its bag. This is one that's sharing a piece of fabric with another project too. Okay, so this is Dark Golden Delicious by the Artsy Housewife. This is one that I restarted. I had originally started on a 32 count piece of linen in the exact same color, 2/2, and I was not enjoying stitching with 2 strands of floss. So I restarted it on a 40 count linen. This is Early Halloween, again by XJU Designs. Yeah, I think every single piece of fabric that I had today. Well, no, almost. All but one. I started this project as a stitch along with Stephanie and Allison of Cross Stitch the Globe last year, sometime. Or was it the previous year? I think it was 2025. Allison finished hers. Stephanie she's doing so there's a Golden Delicious and Dark Golden Delicious. Stephanie's doing Golden Delicious. It's like the same chart, but just kind of different colorways. Stephanie still has hers as a whip. Karen of KBH Stitches has this one as a work in progress. And Sam of I'm like tripping on my words today. Sam of Slow Snail Stitching has it as a whip also. She came up with the idea of doing this as like a full moon stitch, and so I just joined her. So I got this out on the full moon that was the other day, and I got in, so all the branches of the tree are done now. I still need to go and finish a few leaves and apples. So that will come out early in February on the full moon. I think the full moon of February is the 1st or 2nd of the month. I'll have to check. Okay. Then the big update. So I said in one of my last Flosstube videos of 2025 that I am going to finish, not try, I am going to finish Consider the Lilies in 2026. And I stitched in my initials and the year as a way to commit to that, motivate myself. Obviously, I could just unpick the year. But I'm not doing that. It's getting done. And I'm on track to finish it, I think. So, first of all, I'll show you my, did I bring that up here? Oh yeah. Again, since I never show flosses, I realized the other day, I'm like, okay, my flosses are getting, I mean, this means nothing to you because you didn't see these before, but, you know, this stash of flosses is shrinking, so I thought it'd be kind of cool, like, as I make progress, to see how skinny this gets. How many of them get completely used up. This is my chart. I probably should have made a working copy because I'm kind of, my spine is splitting just from me like opening and closing it so many times. So this is by Heartstring Sampler, if I didn't already say that. I am stitching it 1/2 on a piece of 40 count linen, again by XJU Designs, in the color, I think it's Baby Sheep. And I'm using all the colorful flosses, so there are Classic Colorworks, General Arts, Weeks Dye Works. And the dimensions on this, stitch count dimensions are 435 by 363. So she's big. I have a 1/2 yard of fabric and it's going to use a lot of it. I'm not going to have a lot extra. So what I started doing, I'm going to kind of flash the chart. You could not stitch off of this. Is as I would finish a page in the booklet, I'm just sticking a post-it note in the center of it to tell me that I'm done. And so I tried to get to the point where I had 12 pages still to go coming into 2026. And I did that. And they're not even 12 because some of the pages are like a partial page like that. And some of the pages I've already kind of like crept into them with my stitching. So I have less than 12 pages that need to be completed to complete this piece. And so I'm thinking if I at least finish one of those pages per month this year, I will be done with this at the end of 2026. I have a tendency to get like really fixated on this one, so I had taken it off the Q-snap to start my blessing sampler and work on some other stuff. But I think it's going to go back on the Q-snap because I already miss it. Marissa of M. Kissa Creations has also decided she's going to finish it this year. So we are cheering each other on and that. And I don't know if I took a picture when I last showed this. Well, it would have been Whip Parade. I've made pretty big progress even since my Whip Parade. So I'm definitely past the halfway mark. The tree's done. I'd like to try to get, I think if I get the house, the page with the house done in January, then I'll feel, it feels like it'll be smooth sailing from there. But this one has taken me by surprise. I love this piece, and it makes me happy to look at it. But I'm an ADHD girl. So I thought it would be a real struggle for me to finish this. Like, I thought I was just gonna you know, like my brain would just go squirrely and I would, you know, not be able to focus on it. It's like the opposite. I think this is like the perfect stitch if you have a brain that works like mine, because you're constantly changing. It's like every little motif is a win, and yet there's symmetry to it, so you are kind of stitching everything twice, but the colors change in the motifs from one side to the other. And honestly, it's so big. Like, you know, I stitched this in whatever, November. By the time I get to it on the other side, you know, in the second half of 2026, this will be a distant memory. So I think I don't even feel like it's like repetitive because it's so much time in between like, motifs that you've, by the time you get to the other one, you'll have forgotten. Yeah, I love this one so much. I cannot wait to get it done. And this is definitely one that I'm going to spend the money on to have professionally framed. Okay, so that's the last of my stitching for this video. What else do I have to talk about? Plans, as I said, I'm going to do January. I'm going to finish a page on Pins for the Lilies. I am planning to start Nightshade Bird, which is a drum chart that I talked about in my stash dive video. That's where I stole that salmon berry floss from. I want to get a start on that one, maybe this weekend. I would also like to restart my Autumn Bee sometime this month. I think maybe I'll do that like the following week, maybe. And that's kind of it for plans. Oh, finish my blessing sampler. I had mentioned in one of my previous videos that I was thinking about doing like a stitching Zoom and asked if people were interested, and actually a lot of people were interested. So I am going to I have the plan ready to do some virtual stitching meetups. I said Zoom, I think we all just use Zoom kind of as a general term. Zoom actually has, unless you have like the business plan, there's limitations on amount of time that you can be on and number of participants that can be on a call at once. So I started looking into some other options. And what I've settled on for now is I started a Discord server. This, hold on, I'm gonna pause for a second. So I ended up starting a Discord server. My kids used to use Discord for like video. I think it was historically like a video gaming kind of like chatting platform. People use it for all kinds of things. It's kind of Slack-like. It feels a little bit like that. And I know none of us really want new social media, but I did set up a server. It was super easy. It was super easy for me to figure out. So if I can figure it out, anyone can figure it out. So that is set up. I will put the link for my server. It's already in like the banner at the top of my YouTube page. It is in my link tree on Instagram, and I will put it in the description box of this video. So we're just gonna try it out. It's first of all, it's free, which is great. It's a little more flexible than Zoom, and so I think it will work well if I have like a set time that I plan to meet up with people. But it also makes it pretty easy for me to just like kind of like impromptu hop on there if I have some time and I want to stitch. And I'm assuming it sends notifications if you are a part of my server. I'm gonna have to figure all that out too. But then if I'm just like, hey, I'm just gonna stitch and I'm hanging out alone, I can just like pop on. If you want to join me, you can join me. So we're gonna try it. If it's a disaster, then I'll pivot and we'll figure out something else. But for now, we're gonna try Discord. So I hope that you will come and join my server. I know there's a lot of people that have joined already because I put it on my Instagram story the other day. I think there's like some chatting already going on. I haven't been on there yet today, so I was gonna pop on and just kind of see. But it's kind of like another fun little community. It's like a way people can just like chit chat with each other just by text or by, you know, like leaving messages back and forth. And then I think it seems like it's pretty easy to do the video part. Fingers crossed. So please come and check that out if you're interested in doing like any virtual stitching meetups. And I think that's it for now. I have a part 2 of my favorites video that still needs to be edited and posted, so that will come out at some point, and then I'll be back with another regular Flosstube update probably sometime before the end of the month, and I hope to see you back then. Bye. Talk to you later.